So I'm Patrick Marr. I'm the leadership and mental skills coach here at Dragons. So I'm here to help develop mental skills and leadership. Interestingly, if you ask players or coaches what makes the difference in an outstanding player, it's often the mental skill. So it might be confidence, it might be resilience, and yeah, my job's to help develop an environment where that can thrive.
Before we look at the specifics and now, it was for me the understanding around how often we get to a point in time and we say we need X from somebody. Leadership's great. We would go playing international rugby and we would say there's an absence of leadership at Wales level, England level or whatever. And then you go, well, what have we done to help them? And I think mental skills fits into that part. Is so often we would look at environments that professional sport create, enormous pressure, anxiety, all things, and go, well, how are we helping them? And generally we don't answer that well. Is when we look at how we're helping them in line out, how we're helping them in scrum, we go, yeah, we've got technical people supporting that, we've got physical development, we do all those things really well. And I suppose my experience is when I first came across Patrick was in the pathway with the RFU, and it was listening to some of the criticism of what the end product was missing and I suppose the challenges that professional sport have changed, and then going, well, how would we supplement that in, and what experiences would we give, what skills would we try and support?
I think the first thing to say is we don't see it as a remedial activity. Mental health is like physical health. You're never completely healthy or unhealthy. So we can always sort of improve our mental skills. So the idea is to work with anybody. We've started with a bit of a philosophy of let's feed the hungries, whether they're our number one player or a guy just out of the academy. We'll spend an equal amount of time with them. One of the big things we just sort of important in this, I guess, is we're not trying to create philosophers. We're trying to create tradesmen, trying to create people that are good at what they do. I think what's so special about Dragons is they have this sort of we have this sort of desire to get better. So I think when you start with that as a frame of reference, that's awesome.
In any sort of thing around learning, is sometimes you need some experience to sort of re-anchor those chances. And we did some stuff in the past where I say I was working in the pathway, had some crazy ideas about these young men who'd taken very quickly out of normal life. If you're a successful national player, very quickly high level of income, just changed a lot of your reference points. So how do we ground them in experiences where we were able to learn? And sometimes you've got to manufacture those experiences, and then you've got to support the learning that sits around there. So I'm quite excited about some of those things coming back. I don't do measuring in as specific as everybody else is. What I probably measure is intent, and that intent of the place, you can feel that people want to access more resource. Their desire to find out more is bubbling on the surface, and I think when you go to finite measures, and I have to live in that world where you win at the weekend, you lose at the weekend, and were you good at the weekend, were you terrible at the weekend? They just don't work. So what you've got to do is try and stabilise a lot of those things. Do I see people now seeking out Patrick? Do I see people? Yeah, absolutely. And that's the start of the momentum that gathers over the months and years that we believe it's about taking this journey on.